Right now, at this exact moment, there are more drones in the air than at any other point in human history. Military drones changing the outcome of wars, commercial drones delivering packages to your door, agricultural drones spraying crops across fields, search and rescue drones finding people buried under rubble, racing drones, filming drones, inspection drones, delivery drones. Every single one of them, from the $200 DJI quadcopter you bought for your holiday to the billion-dollar military UAV that just changed the course of a war, traces its lineage back to one decision made by one country in 1 year. Israel invented the drone, not as a hobby, not as a commercial venture, as a survival mechanism, and in doing so, completely accidentally created the technology that has transformed warfare, commerce, agriculture, entertainment, and humanitarian response. Welcome back to Grand Structures. The drone was not invented in a research laboratory. It was not the product of a long-term government technology program. It was the direct response to a catastrophe that Israel faced in October 1973, and the decision that catastrophe forced upon the Israeli military. On October 6, 1973, Egypt and Syria launched simultaneous surprise attacks on Israel. Within the first days of fighting, Israel's Air Force, which had been its most decisive advantage in the 1967 Six-Day War, ran into something it had never encountered at scale: modern Soviet surface-to-air missile systems. The SA-6 missile batteries that Egypt deployed along the Suez Canal were more accurate, faster, and lethal than anything Israeli pilots had faced before. In the first 3 days of the war, Israel lost over 50 aircraft to Egyptian and Syrian air defenses. Each lost aircraft meant a dead or captured pilot, and in a country of 3 million people at the time, each pilot represented years of irreplaceable training and a family devastated. The question that Israeli military planners asked after the war was simple and brutal. How do you send something into a defended airspace to gather intelligence or strike a target without sending a human being who can be shot down, captured, or killed? The answer they developed over the following 8 years changed the world. Not just warfare, the world. Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI, began developing unmanned aerial vehicles in the mid-1970s, following the lessons of 1973. The concept was not entirely new. America had used some unmanned reconnaissance aircraft in Vietnam, but they were large, expensive, difficult to control, and designed for single use, essentially flying bombs that happened to carry cameras. What Israel built was different in 3 fundamental ways. First, it was reusable. The Israeli drone, called the Scout, could fly its mission, return to base, land, be refueled, and fly again. Not a one-shot weapon, a persistent intelligence asset. Second, it was small enough to be launched from a catapult, operated by a small ground crew, and recovered with a parachute. No runway needed. Third, it transmitted its camera feed in real time, not film that had to be retrieved and developed, live video sent directly to commanders on the ground as the drone flew.
The first UAV developed by Israel Aerospace Industries flew operationally in 1981. Within 1 year, it proved its worth in combat in a way that stunned every military observer on Earth. In June 1982, during the First Lebanon War, Israel launched an operation that military historians now call the most one-sided air battle in history. In the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, Syria had deployed 19 Soviet-supplied surface-to-air missile batteries, the same type that had destroyed Israeli aircraft in 1973. Israel wanted to destroy them, but sending manned aircraft directly against those batteries would result in the same catastrophic losses as 1973. So Israel sent drones first, small, slow, unmanned decoys that deliberately triggered the Syrian radar systems into lighting up, revealing their exact positions and frequencies. While Syrian operators fired their missiles at the drones, Israeli electronic warfare aircraft recorded every frequency and every radar signature. Within hours, Israel had a complete picture of every Syrian air defense installation in the Bekaa Valley. Then the manned aircraft came and destroyed all 19 missile batteries. Syria lost 82 aircraft in the battle. Israel lost 0. Every major military on Earth watched the Bekaa Valley battle and drew the same conclusion. Drones had just changed warfare permanently, and they all went to the same source to understand how. The United States, which had largely abandoned its Vietnam-era drone programs as too expensive and unreliable, immediately reopened discussions with Israel. In 1984, the U.S. Marine Corps purchased Israeli Pioneer drones, directly derived from the Scout, for battlefield reconnaissance. The Pioneer became America's primary battlefield drone throughout the 1980s and into the Gulf War, where it famously caused the first drone-related surrender in history, when Iraqi soldiers on a small island waved white flags at an approaching Pioneer, choosing to surrender to an unmanned aircraft rather than risk what it might be calling in. The lessons from the Israeli Scout and Pioneer directly shaped the development of America's Predator drone, which entered service in 1995 and became the defining military drone of the 21st century. The Predator's designers explicitly acknowledged that Israeli UAV concepts were foundational to their approach. The Reaper, the Globehawk, the entire military drone program all evolved from concepts that Israel proved in combat over Lebanon in 1982. And then something happened that nobody in 1981 had imagined. The drone left the military. The military drone evolved over 30 years into something increasingly sophisticated, expensive, and lethal. But it was not military technology that brought drones to every person on Earth. It was the smartphone. The smartphone revolution of the 2010s produced something that drone engineers had never had access to before. Cheap, miniaturized gyroscopes, accelerometers, GPS modules, and camera sensors, all mass-produced at consumer scale, all inexpensive enough to put into a small flying vehicle. DJI, a Chinese company founded in 2006, took Israeli and American drone concepts, combined them with smartphone components, and produced the first consumer drone that a non-expert could fly. By 2016, DJI's Phantom series had sold millions of units globally. The drone had left the battlefield and landed in the living room. Today, the global drone market is worth approximately $55 billion. It is growing at 15% per year. Agriculture drones spray 100 million hectares of farmland globally, using precision targeting descended directly from Israeli military drone guidance systems. Delivery drones in 45 countries are completing last-mile logistics using autonomous navigation that traces back to the Scout's flight control systems. Search and rescue drones have saved thousands of lives using thermal imaging cameras that were developed for military reconnaissance.
And in warfare, the technology has come full circle. The cheap FPV drones that Ukrainian soldiers use to destroy Russian tanks for $400 each are the direct commercial descendants of the military drones that Israel invented to avoid pilots against missile batteries. The same principle, the same solution, different scale, different price, same origin. In 1973, Israel lost pilots to missiles it could not see coming fast enough to avoid. The question that loss forced was simple. How do you gather intelligence, locate an enemy, and strike a target without sending a human being who can be killed? The answer took 8 years to build. It flew operationally in 1981. It proved itself in combat in 1982. It was copied by America, then by every military on Earth. Then it shrank to the size of your hand. Then it went to every farm, every film set, every search and rescue team, every delivery service, every racing circuit on Earth. Today, there are an estimated 2 million drones registered in the United States alone. Globally, across military, commercial, and consumer use, the number is in the tens of millions. Every single one of them is the answer to a question Israel asked in 1973. How do we do this without sending a person? The answer is flying above you right now. Welcome to the age of drones. It started in Israel. Here is the question I want you to answer. The drone that Israel invented to avoid pilot casualties is now used by militaries worldwide to conduct strikes without risking their own pilots. Did Israel create something that saves lives or something that makes war easier to start because nobody has to die on your side? Drop your most honest answer below. Subscribe to Grand Structures and watch our Israeli Air Force video right after this, because the drones and the pilots work together in ways that will change how you think about both.